Good morning. Um, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm looking back at social media content from before, during, and after the HIV accident. And quite frankly, it all looks so suspicious. Like they premeditatedly pharmacologically abused me. It looks like they did it to me. It looks like they had premeditated intentions to get me to take HIV PrEP, maybe the mega regimen of psychiatric medication, and so on. Uh, you know, it looks like it was not my choice. Um, I don't know. Maybe this is ideas of reference delusions. I want to think people are telling me the truth. I want to think there was no betrayal. Uh, but really, it looks suspicious to me. It looks suspicious to me. I just want honesty. I want transparency, but try to accept they're telling me the truth. It looks really fishy. It looks really fucking fishy. So this one represents walking solitarily. You know, I'm with the carrot men, which may or may not be my imagination. Maybe they're real, maybe they're not. Maybe it's just pop superstars that I'm daydreaming about because I have no friends, no life. And I say, yo, carrot men, life is pain. My life is a living nightmare. Nobody's loving me. My parents are abusive. I'm like, yo, carrot men, life is pain, man. And the next one, I'm happy, clueless, ignorant, oblivious, naive. I'm in bliss because I don't realize that I'm being deceived. Then I find out about lies, betrayal, deception, and I start to get angry. I start to turn green. And then when I, discover their secrets, I transform into the Incredible Hulk. I become righteously enraged. I'm an angry man-child. I say, Hulk smash. And below is the Universal logo, the major motion picture company, and there's an X through it, which means, they can't make a Hulk movie because Universal owns the distribution rights. It's legal limbo. Disney owns the creative and artistic rights of the Hulk. Universal owns the distribution rights. This is an interesting one, too. My stepfather's aggressively saying to me, don't do this, don't do that. And my mother, who's two-faced, is like, yeah, that's right. And she's wearing a COVID mask. There's no love. They're abusive monsters. I'm walking on eggshells. My life is hell on earth. My home is like a war zone. And I'm a man. This one, my father says to me, hey, tough guy, which is his nickname with me, take a photo with Niles, who's the New York Islanders mascot. And I'm like, I don't wanna. And my father forces me to take a picture with Niles. He says, I use the flash. You like photos. And he's wearing Toronto, which makes me think he's going to betray me like John Tavares. I'm on the losing team, the Islanders, and he's going to go to Toronto. That one's fun. And the last one, this is called the Ice Cream Man. There's this ice cream man, and he asks kids, hey, kids, want some ice cream? It's really yummy. And the guy selling the ice cream in the ice cream truck says, we're registered professionals. And I say to myself, I don't trust the ice cream man. I mean, they haven't done anything yet, but I just do not trust the ice cream men. I think they're nefarious. I think they're, monsters behind their masks. I don't know. I just get a weird vibe from the ice cream man. Yeah. And that's the artwork from this morning. Not this morning. That's the artwork from. Yeah, just try to calm down. Yeah, somebody says you're up so early. Actually, typically I walk around the neighborhood at this time. but it's like 10 degrees out. So I'm like, hey, I'm gonna wait till at least it was slightly below freezing. This is like too cold. Maybe in years past I would have walked on a day like today, but yeah, I'm approaching 40. Walk. I don't want frostbite. I don't want to damage my fingers and toes. So I'm gonna just go to the gym today. It's really like too cold to walk around the neighborhood, so I'm going live on YouTube instead. Uh, Peter says it's 1 degree where he is. Somebody says, you mentioned the Incredible Hulk. Would you like to be strong? Well, obviously, that artwork means, I find out people have betrayed me. I find out people have been lying to me. And I get righteously enraged, righteously angry. Basically, I flip out because I find out people have been lying and manipulating and gaslighting. Somebody asks, "Do you want to be strong?" Well, I'll be in a rage basically when I find out that the betrayal. But apparently, there is no betrayal. I mean, I guess everybody wants to be strong ultimately, but basically, the artwork means, I'm gonna be really angry when I discover the truth. It means that more than wanting to be strong, I would say. But it's open to interpretation. If you want to interpret it as me wanting to be strong and me feeling like puny Bruce Banner, that's fine too. I'm not opposed to that. You feel free to interpret my art. I mean, I think my artwork is pretty frank. I don't really do a lot of metaphors. Sometimes I do, but I pretty much mean what I say. You know, Airlines is, yeah, I get it, man. I get it. Yeah. Um, so, Rusty says, you look suspicious to me, man. Yeah. Hey, do you think I've been betrayed, or do you think everybody's being honest and transparent with me? I'm told everybody is being honest and transparent with me, but if I have been betrayed, communicate, tell me the truth. Say it. If they had premeditated intentions to pharmacologically abuse me, just tell me. If they had premeditated, just tell me. At this point, I want communication. Apparently, it's my mind lying to me. It's ideas of reference. It's not betrayal by everybody. Not betrayal by my parents, step family, friends. Like everybody is telling me the truth. It really is psychosis. What I'm seeing on social media is ideas of reference delusions. I mean, it does seem like there was some secrets there. Like, for example, in a video from 2015, I'm wearing a Brooklyn Bridge shirt. And then, in 2019, 2020, I went to the Brooklyn Bridge, and, the Brooklyn Bridge is a common place. It doesn't mean, you're going to be, really depressed after we betray you. Like, it's a common place. I saw a picture on social media of Man Crush Ed stepping on a nail. That's not him saying, I'm going to premeditatedly make you step on a nail and you're going to take prep and then you're going to want to jump off the Brooklyn Bridge. This is just all ideas of reference. Nobody is talking about me. Nobody is referencing me. These are just posts that they made that are unrelated to me. Nobody cares about me, Somebody says, you might be going crazy a little bit. Yeah, these are not references to me. If they are, communicate and take accountability. But apparently they are not references to me. If they are, say it. Apparently it's ideas of reference delusions. If the opposite is true, communicate it, but apparently they're not lying. So believe it. Accept it. My mind is lying to me. And that's basically what I have to accept here. And look at what happens when I accused people of premeditatedly scaring me about HIV and pharmacologically abusing me. It ruined my relationship with my parents, it ruined my relationship with my stepfather, friends, and so on. Basically, if you start accusing people of sadists who want to being deceivers who want to kill you, they're not going to want to be around you because you're looking at them like they're monsters. And accusing my mother, father, and stepfather, especially my stepfather, of being a sexual sadist who tortured me, who had premeditated intentions to hurt me. Kayoza says, "This is a delusion, Andrew. I'm telling you the truth. I promise you they did not have nefarious intentions. It's a delusion and an OCD rumination." So try to keep that in mind. When my mind starts to go haywire, when I start to see social media content that looks suspicious in nature, just toggle the delusional switch to off, catch it, check it, change it, and calm down. Don't transform into the Incredible Hulk in my mind. Instead, power down the delusion and be puny Bruce Banner, It's all good. There was no betrayal. And Airline says you have to focus on good people. We spend too much time on people that don't deserve it. That's a fair point. Somebody asks an unrelated question. Why do you open your eyes so wide in videos? It gives off a creepy vibe. Some people say I have the intense, Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle eyes, or the Sanpaku eyes, the eyes of somebody who's really intense, really motivated, really driven. They say I got the Kurt Angle eyes, basically. The intense eyes, somebody who's ready to win an Olympic gold medal, kind of like that. Like I got the eyes if somebody's like, all right, you want to get into a wrestling match with me? I'll be Mr. Intensity. Those are the eyes they say I got. Yeah, which is probably not good. I mean, you don't want to be that intense. You don't want to be that intense, really. But intensity is good to a degree. I mean, you can accomplish superhuman feats if you. I like professional wrestling, or at least I did in my 20s and teens and childhood. But I don't really like Olympic wrestling. I mean, I watch it. I mean, because it's great to see the Olympians wrestle. But I tried doing wrestling in middle school, but I didn't like it very much. And I feel like everybody was defeating me, and I was getting bullied. But ultimately, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Olympic wrestling, like not Olympic wrestling, like amateur wrestling. Yeah, I don't like amateur wrestling. I like the showmanship wrestling, the scripted wrestling, sports entertainment. But I don't like amateur wrestling. Somebody says you're a trained amateur wrestler. No, that's not true. I did it for like a week or two because I was getting bullied in school, and my mother thought it would boost my confidence. But it turned out I started getting bullied at the wrestling too, and losing every match. So yeah, Peter says I like sensationalistic scripted wrestling better too. Yeah, because it's more of a performance. It's more theatrical. It's more fun. I mean, one's entertainment, the other is an actual competition. I find, yeah, Olympic wrestling is cool to watch. Every 4 years or so, and watching the people compete for the gold medal, that's fun. But I mean, if you watched it every week, it would kind of lose its appeal. Like. They're two different sports, two different animals. They're not the same exact thing, obviously. I mean, they're cool. I mean, like it's kind of like watching curling in the Winter Olympics. It's like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool to watch it every 4 years, but You know, if this was on TV every week, I think people would lose interest. You know, yeah, like water polo, the same. It's like, yeah, this is cool. I mean, maybe they could form water polo teams, like throwing balls into nets while you're swimming around in a pool. That's kind of cool. I don't know. Maybe they could form sports team, water polo sports teams. I don't know. Maybe they could create a league. I used to have. Oh, interestingly enough, uh, the Swell Boys, Buffalo Wild Wings in the Broadway Mall. Last day of operation is February 2nd. I don't talk to the Swell Boys anymore, but it's pretty noteworthy because we used to go there like every week or so. Uh, and Yeah, I should probably let them know, or at least I mean maybe they'll reach out to me. I don't know. Maybe they don't even know. But yeah, it was a pretty significant location to us, that Buffalo Wild Wings, and it's going to be going out of business tomorrow, and they're going to be tearing it down. You know, they're going to be tearing down the Buffalo Wild Wings at the Broadway Mall. You know, and yeah, I'm going to share with you. You know, and we spent a lot of time there. Yeah, this is an example of, you know, I'm at the Broadway Mall, which I spent a lot of time, and I say to the demolition man who's paid to destroy, "Bring on your wrecking ball. Destroy my childhood in the name of progress." And he's going to be tearing down the Broadway Mall outlets. I think the stores that are staying will be Round One. I know my father said, but they built the food court on top of Round One. So how's that going to work? Yeah, Round One is this arcade that's big in Japan. I don't know how what they'll do about the food court, which is actually sitting on top of Round One. But to my knowledge, I don't think Round One is going out of business. I guess it remains to be seen, though. I'm just speculating. I'm assuming IKEA is going to be staying, and so is Target. But yeah, the Buffalo Wild Wings, the iconic location. You know how people say like it's the Abbey Road in England, or you know, the White House where the president resides. The Buffalo Wild Wings is going out of business, and yeah, or they're not renewing. You know, they're tearing it down. You know, that was the place I spent countless days. You know, I'm yeah, okay. La, 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 la. All right, guys. I mean, I guess I can. Well, any questions regarding the Buffalo Wild Wings? Any questions about Hot Topic? Oh yeah, the Hot Topic in the Broadway Mall is the Hot Topic. I'm assuming that Hot Topic's gonna bite the big one too. You know, I think everybody kind of knew it was over when Macy's left a few years ago. It was just dying a slow death after that. You know. Uh A asks, "Have you ever been manic?" They say I have been. You know, I used to run marathons daily, which is kind of superhuman behavior, and they would say that was manic. So I would say probably yes. You know, that is a manic kind of behavior, running as much as I was running every day. I mean, I was in fight or flight mode, I think, but I mean, I mean that's why they diagnosed me as schizoaffective and not schizophrenic, because of the mania, the running, and the depressive episodes, the severe depression. You know, there's bipolar mood swings, and I've got an inconsistent mood disorder. You know, um, I swing wildly from happy to depressed to happy to depressed, and that's a symptom of bipolar, which you know is why they diagnosed me as schizoaffective and not schizophrenic. Peter says, all the United Kingdom people are at lunch. I love the early hours. Have a great one. All right. See you later, Peter. See you later. Have a great day. Have a great day. Yeah. I'm getting ready to go to the gym soon. I mean, it opens at 7. Sometimes they're late and you get there at 7 and you have to wait till 8 p.m. for them to get there. I hope the staff isn't late today. I hope they're on time. I'm going to go there right when it opens and try to run for like 20 minutes and walk for like 40. Yeah. Maybe I'll try to do more today because it's so freezing. I can't really take a walk around the neighborhood. The reason I'm live streaming is because normally I would take some sort of walk around the neighborhood, but it's just like freezing. It's like a freezer out there. A asks, do you have hallucinations, or why were you diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder? Because they say I get delusions, and I suffer from psychosis. I don't get hallucinations, meaning I don't see things, I don't hear voices. But I showed symptoms of schizophrenia, and I have bipolar mood symptoms. That's what they feel. At least the best in the business at psychopharmacology feels this, and I think when I mentioned to a psychiatrist who does CBT, when I said, "Am I schizoaffective?" He says that's as good of a diagnosis as any other, really. I mean, he really wasn't. He was about treat the symptoms, not the diagnosis. It's just a label, but he says, "Sure, yeah, it's why not? For medical purposes, for billing purposes, we got to have a label, and I think that fits. To get benefits, and you got to say, oh, there's something wrong, but basically treat the symptoms and not the label, not the diagnosis. It's so easy to say he's schizoaffective, but what exactly does that mean? All right. Somebody says, in college, did you deal with stigma because of your illness or your disorder? That's a good question. When I graduated high school in 2005, I was getting really sick. I was socially isolating. I didn't know how to talk to people. I didn't know how to engage with people. And honestly, I didn't realize there was anything wrong with me. Well, I mean, I knew I was different. I knew I was having trouble fitting in. I knew I was having social anxiety. But I didn't realize what a psychiatric hospital was. I didn't realize what schizoaffective was. I didn't realize what severe mental illness was until 2011 when I got hospitalized and they diagnosed me as having a severe mental illness. So while I knew I was isolating, while I knew I was sick, while I knew I was having some form, I diagnosed myself as being like Brian Wilson or Lane Staley. That was how I diagnosed myself, or like the Joker from Batman: A Dark Knight. And basically, I'm like, I'm like Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys, isolating and have no friends. Later, I came to learn I was schizoaffective. I mean, you could self-diagnose yourself as like Brian Wilson, romanticize these artists who have mental breakdowns, but realistically, the diagnosis is schizoaffective. So he says, what's the main part of your diet? I'm trying to eat healthier, and you seem to take care of yourself. Actually, I put on a lot of weight recently. But I eat a lot of bananas in the morning, a lot of fruit. My mother makes dinners. Yeah, it depends. It really depends. But I don't think I eat healthy. I just do a lot of exercise. I wouldn't say I got the most nutritious diet. You know. What is your diagnosis? You're like Brian Wilson. A says antidepressants have triggered hypomania for me, and to be honest, it feels great. I miss that feeling. Yeah, some people like the manic feeling. That's for sure. Um, obviously the medications aren't magic pills or panaceas. There's a lot of adverse side effects to them, and they can cause all sorts of symptoms and stuff. Somebody says, "What's your exercise routine? Is it mostly running?" Yeah, I mostly do cardio, a little bit of running, and a lot of walking. Yeah, that's basically what I do, Doctor Battle. Actually, let me get a banana right now. I'll show you. Yeah, I'll crack open a banana for breakfast here. No, I don't do any weights. I should. I should do some weights. I don't really do any weights though. Okay. So let's have a banana here. Some people refer to me as the banana man here. If you keep eating bananas, maybe you're going to turn into a banana, right? You don't want to transform into a banana. Airline Man says, don't overtrain. Yeah. Do everything in moderation. Don't get obsessive. Don't get fanatical. Do everything in moderation. I mean, it's cool if you want to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I mean, there are people that get obsessed, and there's worse obsessions and addictions, but I mean, you're not going to win the bodybuilding competition if you're not obsessed. But also, if you're just some dude, why do you want to be the tippity top? Somebody says you look better than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he's older now. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime, I mean, his appeal is he looked like a killing machine. He looked like a Terminator. We kind of have different looks. I'm more of kind of a pretty boy, or like a young Tom Cruise, as they say. He's more of like a killing machine, So he says, I want to lose weight and feel better. I don't need to be big and strong. Maybe I should walk and run like you. I think if my body was the same as yours, I'd be plenty happy. Yeah, I mean, all you really got to do, try not to overindulge on food. Try not to gluttonously consume food. Run for like 20 minutes. Walk for like 40 minutes. Yeah, you don't realize just getting your heart rate up for 20 minutes will take off the pounds. Try not to eat a lot of sugar. Sugar definitely packs on the pounds, and that's my advice. That's my advice, at least. Ah. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna get going. I think I'm gonna try driving over to the gym now. I think I'm gonna try driving over to the gym. The airline says, I want to see you work out on your biceps. Yeah, get really big biceps. That's what the ladies like. Default says, adios. Adios, Default. Adios. I'll talk to you all again soon. Now it's time He says, have a good one. Have a good workout, and maybe I'll be back later. So, Dr. Battle says, you are what it is. Adios.